This week I read an article on Jezebel from a skeptic who underwent past life regression, and surprise, she was super convinced that it was maybe real, but an awesome experience regardless. I'm a skeptic too, and allow me to give you an alternative perspective. Past life regression is stupid and occasionally dangerous and nonsense. The writer claims that she was a skeptic, relying on the fact that she once made fun of a past life regression when it was done on a real housewife, and that she doesn't believe in an afterlife, and that she jokes about astrology. But then she qualifies that by admitting that she's scared of ghosts, and she doesn't sign important paperwork while Mercury is in retrograde. The fuck? I can't tell if that's a joke or not. At first I assumed it was a joke, but then she went on to describe her past life regression in glowing terms, so now I'm not sure. But heads up, you were not a skeptic. You were someone who made jokes about superstition because you thought it would make you look smart, when you're not actually very smart. A skeptic, in fact, should be someone who thinks critically about everything, including and especially their own experiences. A skeptic understands that their own perspective on things can be warped. They understand that there are con artists out there who know how to manipulate others and will do so for money or fame. Madeline Davies, the writer for Jezebel, is not, I assure you, a skeptic. As Exhibit 1, I present the fact that she wrote an article about seeing a certified past life therapist and never once asked who is certifying past life therapists and how does one get that certification? Is it like certifying a saint where you have to show proof of 3 verified past life regressions? I'm guessing not, because no one has ever shown any proof of a past life regression, possibly because there's no such thing as a past life regression. There's no such thing as reincarnation, and even if there was, there's no such thing as old memories sticking around in your new brain matter. And even if there was, there's no proof that anyone could ever dig those memories up. There's no evidence, none. Certified past life therapist Anne Barham, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist in California, in case you would like to make a complaint to anyone about such a person using their position to peddle outrageous nonsense, has all the hallmarks of a classic con artist, according to Davies' own account. For instance, Barham reassures Davies that no matter what happens, Davies is not gullible. Even if it turns out that her entire past life is obviously just a recounting of an episode of Joni Loves Chachi, this is just due to, and I quote, the Jungian concept of synchronicity. Instead of being skeptical about why Barham is giving her a defense against accusations of stupidity, Davies instead lists 2 more ways to say the same nonsense, each one more hilarious than the last. The acausal connection of 2 or more psychic and physical phenomena, and the psychological profundity of coincidence. Yep, you're definitely not super gullible. I mean, it's Jungian. It must be true. Oh boy. It never even seems to occur to Davies that she is paying for Barham to make her regress into a past life. But Barham herself is already offering excuses why what happens might not be real and may just be her psyche offering symbolic metaphors. If you can actually make a person remember a past life, and if you are charging them for the honor of doing this, why would you need to couch your services by telling clients that even if it's not real, it's still beneficial? Would a brain surgeon tell a patient that, even if I'm not actually cutting the tumor out of your head, just actually poking around in there should probably be all right? Would an IT person tell you that even if they don't actually run the virus scan, just playing Minesweeper on your laptop should be enough? No, they don't do that because they are performing actual services and they aren't afraid of being sued when it turns out that they weren't performing the service that they advertised. Sure enough, Davies experiences a vivid hallucination during this session, in which she thinks she is a British soldier colonizing Africa in the 1800s, and later thinks that maybe some of the details did come from movies she's seen or a college course she took on the survey of Africa. Do you think? She still thinks that the experience was fantastic and highly recommends it, with nary a word of caution. Again, for a skeptic, it's amazing it doesn't occur to her that there are inherent dangers to past life regression that is not actually past life regression. Davies' attitude is basically, sure, it might not actually be past life regression, but you should do it anyway, just to see what your psyche will reveal. Here's the number one problem with that. There are innumerable cases of people having incredibly dangerous false memories implanted during these kinds of regressions. She mentions that this has happened on occasion, which is a ridiculous understatement. It's extremely easy to plant false memories in people, and I would say that it happens every time. Every time someone does a past life regression, false memories are being implanted. That is literally what is happening. And that implantation of false memories has in the past sent people to prison, either through confessions or through accusations of satanic cult child abuse. It makes people think that extremely horrific things happen to them, like alien abductions or rapes, and it damages people psychologically, and it can ruin lives. Meanwhile, there is absolutely no certification for who gets to be a past life regression therapist. It's just whatever con artist wants to take your money. Sure, maybe you'll come away with a positive experience, and maybe it won't break your bank because some stupid blog paid for you to do it and then write about it. Or maybe the con artist did it for free for the advertising. But maybe for the average person, you'll drop a few $1,000s just to let a con artist manipulate your memories. Instead, you could spend that money on an actual psychiatrist, a therapist, a psychologist who believes in science-based healthcare and who will help you work through whatever issues you have without putting you in a vulnerable state and telling you that you were Cleopatra's handmaiden.